Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Now, of course, there's only one place to start this week, and it was the result on Wednesday night in the Champions League. Peter, Atletico Madrid won, Manchester United won, and it was local lad Anthony Elanga popping up in the 80th minute with a beautifully hit goal to give the Reds a real chance going into the second leg.
I thought United were very fortunate. I mean, they were played off the park, particularly in the first half. Atletico really got at them, and that crowd was baying for blood. And I did think that United were going to struggle and was going to be 3 or 4-0 down at half time. They hadn't got a shot off at all. But as you say, they brought on Elanga and he scored that equaliser. And fantastic that a local hero like that should come through and do so brilliantly well. He's putting tremendous pressure now on Marcus Rashford, and he's probably edging ahead of Sancho for a starting place.
Yeah, you'd think this weekend they're taking on Watford at Old Trafford. Surely he's got a chance of starting. If you're Ralph Rangnick, would you give him the chance to prove himself in the starting lineup?
Well, I noticed that Ralph said after the game that the players ought to look at him and see how he plays with great freedom, without a care in the world, confident, and plays like a Manchester United footballer should play. And that was the message to people like Ronaldo as well, and Maguire and Fred, and stop the whinging, get on with it. Just carry on playing fantastically well for United, as Elanga's doing. And I would definitely start him.
Absolutely. Well, if he does start, or even if he doesn't, and he comes on the pitch and you fancy him to score 2 more goals at Old Trafford, he is now priced at Betfred at 17-2. 17-2 for 2 more goals. So looking at that fixture, Peter, Watford enter that game having beaten Aston Villa 1-0 last weekend. Roy Hodgson's men going into this game with a bit more confidence now.
Well, they are, but they're still likely to be relegated according to the Betfred odds. They're right down there with the dead men walking. So we've started the game at United 1-3, so they're odds on to pick up all 3 points. Watford 9-1 to pull off a shot result, draw 9-2. Ronaldo is 11-4 to score first with Betfred. He does look like he's he's going to come back strongly. He's on the verge of getting a hat-trick, I think, but he always looks like he's going to score. I mean, that's the thing about Ronaldo. It always looks like he's going to get.
He's got it in him.
Definitely. Cavani, Fernandes and Rashford are all 10-3 to score the first goal. I think Rashford will come back again because he'll have to prove himself against the upstart Elanga, that he's the main man. Anyway, Elanga is 4-1 with Betfred to score the first goal.
There you go. So looking at this game, I mean, it's a Premier League fixture, a great opportunity for United to really push for the top 4 position this season. You don't get many easier, really, do you, than Watford?
Well, if you're thinking of the fixture to play between the Champions League games, this would be ideal, wouldn't it? A nice, straightforward game against Watford, but nothing straightforward with United. You just don't know what team's going to turn up. If you look at the relegation odds now, Watford, as I said before, are right in there. They're 1-6 with Betfred to be relegated. So the second favourites to be relegated behind Norwich, who are bottom again now, 1-8. Now Burnley, they're rallying. They're 5-4 now to be relegated. They're still the third favourites to take the third spot into the Championship. But Leeds they're dropping like a stone, aren't they? They're 5-2 now at Betfred to be relegated. Brentford 11-4, they're struggling as well. But what about Everton, City's opponents, 4-1 to be relegated, the same as Newcastle.
Well, as Peter just said then, it is Everton taking on Manchester City at Goodison Park on Saturday night. And you're looking at that fixture, Peter, after last weekend's 3-2 defeat to Tottenham, you know, the pressure's now on Manchester City because Liverpool, of course, beat Leeds United 6-0 on Wednesday night. So there's now just a 3-point gap between the sides.
Yeah, it's just getting close up there. We've talked before about how Fred, who I spoke to this week, the boss Fred Doan, he's not panicking over this at all. He still thinks that City will win the title. And he has paid out, of course, £750,000 to the tune of £750,000 just before Christmas. So I asked him if it's squeaky bum time, and he said it isn't. He's so confident that City will win the title because of the strength of the squad. He makes the point that whenever City make a substitution, they basically look stronger or can look stronger. Whereas when Liverpool make a substitution, they often look weaker.
Yep.
So he still thinks it'll be City's title. And Liverpool have got to go to the Etihad as well, so it'll be a cup final for them. Albeit City have got a derby game as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
United.
they certainly have. So it makes it an interesting end to the season. But as Peter said then, Betfred owner Fred Dunn did pay out £750,000 on Manchester City to win the league in December. But will it come back to haunt him? Only time will tell. Well, just looking at this fixture, Peter, Everton v City, what are the odds looking like?
Right, well, Everton are 10-1 to pull off a shock victory. City 3-10 and a draw's 5-1. We've got Mahrez to score the first goal. He's 3-1. Raheem Sterling 10-3. De Bruyne 7-2. And Phil Foden, whose form dipped a little bit, he's now 9-2 to score the first goal for City.
Excellent stuff. And of course tonight as well, Friday night, it's Southampton taking on Norwich at St Mary's Stadium. And as you can see right now, here are the latest odds ahead of that fixture. Well, we've also got a massive game taking place on Sunday in London at Wembley Stadium. It's the Carabao Cup final. It's Chelsea taking on Liverpool. Peter, a great occasion this one, something I'm really looking forward to. But who goes into the game as the favourites?
Well, Liverpool do. They're the form team in the country, 5-4 to get a victory there and get the first bit of silverware. Chelsea 9-4. And Saha is naturally enough the 7-2 to score the first goal. Lukaku 11-2 to score the first goal. I can see that Lukaku could come good in this game after all the criticism we've had. Anyway, he's 11-2 to score the first goal with Betfred.
Excellent stuff, but as we alluded to earlier, there's a lot to play for come the end of the season. In terms of top four finishers, Manchester United are hoping to boost their chances with a victory against Watford this weekend. But just looking at these odds, Peter, what's it looking like at the moment?
Well, Betfred have Chelsea 1-50 to take the top four finish. They're in third place at the moment. Arsenal are evens. United dipped to 6-4 in different form of late. Spurs 4-1, West Ham 14-1, and Wolves, the big movers, they're 25-1 now for a top four finish.
And in terms of the bottom end of the table, Everton are struggling, Watford are struggling, Norwich as well struggling. There's a lot of teams down there really fighting it out, but what's it looking like?
Well, we've still got Norwich, Watford and Burnley. They're all odds on. Leeds 5-2, Brentford 11-4, and Betfred have Everton and Newcastle both at 4-1. So Newcastle are pulling out of the scrap at the bottom, where the money is anyway. And Burnley have shown better form than of late and have given themselves a fighting chance now with the games in hand.
Well, Leeds United are in an awful run of form at the moment, conceding goals for fun. And if you're a Leeds United fan, would you want Marcelo Bielsa to be sacked? Would you want to bring someone else in to regenerate the side? What do you think, Peter? Is it time for a change, or would you stick with the man?
I think they'll probably stick with him. He seems popular still with the crowd. They've bought into that style of football, which is a breath of fresh air if you've been brought up with the Leeds United of old, like I was. And I think that he's been unlucky with injuries, and he'll come good. And you've got to think who's out there who's better than him. Even if they did get relegated, then they would have an exciting season in the Championship, which is fast emerging as one of the most exciting leagues in the world, never mind in this country.
Would you bring Big Sam out of retirement? He's done it before, hasn't he? I know he didn't do it at West Brom, but I think he'd like to come into that kind of job.
I think it's one of the places he hasn't done. He's never been to Leeds.
So the second leg of the round of 16 Champions League fixtures are taking place in 2 weeks' time. They'll restart on Tuesday, the 8th of March, and Manchester City still leading the pack to win the title for the first time ever. So, Peter, just run us through the latest odds for this one, please.
Well, for the Champions League, of course, it all has come to a head now with the final being moved to Paris because of what's going on in the Ukraine. City are now 9-4 favourites with Betfred. They've been favourites for most of the season. This is the cherry on the ice bun for the City hierarchy. Liverpool second favourites 4-1. Bayern Munich third favourites 9-2. And Betfred have Chelsea 7-1. Now, United, who have a great pedigree in this competition, they have stayed out there at 20-1, and Atletico Madrid, who've got to come to Old Trafford, of course, having only managed a 1-1 draw against United, they're 150-1 to win the Champions League. So we've got there, out of the top four, three of the British teams, i.e. City, Liverpool and Chelsea. United aren't that far behind in 7th spot, according to the betting.
Fantastic to see. Well, we'll move into some rugby league news now, because as we keep mentioning, Salford Red Devils have got to a great start this season, winning both their fixtures, and they make the journey to Hull FC this weekend. Peter, 2 weeks ago, when we were previewing this campaign, were Salford, was it 80-1 to win the grand final?
Yeah, they were 100-1 at one stage, and then they went to 80-1, having a good pre-season. And now they're 40-1 to win the Betfred Grand Final. So they've got a great start to the season. Some people will say they haven't been tested yet. They've not played a top team, but they are playing an expansive style. And as you say, they are at Hull FC on Saturday afternoon. That would be the first kind of proper test. I know Hull FC are like a mid-league team, but it would be a test for Salford. So Hull FC are 4-6, so they're favourites to pick up both points. Betfred have Salford to continue their unbeaten start to the season at 13-10 to win at Hull.
Well, it might be early days, but as Pete said then, if you do fancy the Salford Red Devils to lift the grand final trophy this season, they've now been cut to 40-1. Well, if you do fancy a punt on any of the Premier League fixtures this weekend, I'll just run through them now. So, of course, on Saturday, we've got Manchester United hosting Watford. And then in the late kick-off, Manchester City travel to Everton. If you do fancy a punt on any of them fixtures, Betfred stores are now open, but you can also bet online via their app.